Alright. Welcome back to more Tenchu Time of the Assassins. Today we are going to continue Onikage's campaign. It's about to get evil up in this bitch! Here's some reading for your reading pleasure, if you want. I didn't bother. Got to love that unnecessary dialogue. I don't know what it says, but I assume Onikage is just going on about how deliciously evil he is. I know I've made jokes in the past, and it is pretty late in the LP, but for those not familiar with my channel, I am blind. That makes reading the dialogue out for this game pretty difficult. It also makes playing this game pretty difficult. I was happy to do that for Rikimaru and Ayame's campaigns because, to me, those are the two quintessential Tenchu characters. But I really did not feel like doing that for this campaign. It's really slowed down the editing time and made it a lot harder to put these videos together. The downside is, for me, I don't get to know the story of this campaign. But since we're playing as Onikage, I don't really care. He does look like he enjoys his work. I will give him that. I do get a little bit lost from here on out, but fortunately for you guys, you don't have to deal with that because of save states. You saw nothing. Now, time to die! I started rewatching this playthrough. I'm through video 2 of Tenchu's campaign, which is video 8 of the LP. And I noticed a lot of things that I missed. Unfortunately, I ended up leaving in a few notifications of saving and loading the save states. I'm not really happy with that. Not that I deny my use of the save states. That's something that I do. I've been really happy with that feature of this emulator. It makes these games a lot more fun to play. But I don't like extra stuff on screen. Messages or subtitles or anything like that. That's why if I have the option, I turn off subtitles as well. So as much work as I put into editing these videos, I can't believe I missed those notifications. Not happy with that. Also not happy, my headset I have been using for over a year died. There's a trap in here, so be careful. That's why I double jumped there. Basically, we kidnapped Goda, I believe. So that's interesting. And we got another Grandmaster ranking. Huzzah! Let's do the next mission. I don't think the dialogue needed those sound effects. I notice it more when I'm not doing the voiceover for the dialogue. And now we have my pick for the single worst mission in Tenchu history. We've got to carry Gota's body from here to the end of the mission. As you can see, you can put him down so that you can deal with enemies. But you can also lose him. So be careful where you put him. Now, I never actually lost him, thankfully. I thought for sure I was going to. And the controls for picking him up are really irritating. I'm pretty sure they were R1 and circle. And not only do you have to push both of those buttons, you have to hold them down, plus pressing the left analog stick in order to move your character. And good luck with the camera, because the camera is garbage. You can use the lock-on button that I figured out towards the end of Rin's campaign to adjust the camera, but usually when I do that, he drops the body for some reason. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with 2 buttons to pick up the body, but I wish once you picked up the body, he would just automatically hold it until you hit circle or something like that. So this gets really irritating, and there are going to be some bad camera angles. There's nothing I can do about it. At this point, I have not figured out that I can hit L1 to adjust the camera. So this is what you're getting. I did put the body down there so I could readjust the camera, but it's going to be pretty annoying. And slow. And normally I would fast forward stuff like this, but if I had to suffer, then you guys can at least suffer through a little bit of this. Just terrible. I've also moved the speed of those mission briefings up 8 times. So it's 8 times the normal speed, just to make those go by faster. I'm not sure why for this campaign they went with black letters on a white background. I imagine for some people that's really hard on the eyes, probably most people. Everybody I know prefers dark mode. I know I said it before, but I am really surprised I did not lose this body. This is easily the most irritating mission in Tenchu history. At least out of the games that I've played. And I have some trouble finding my way around this next part. Again, because of save states, you guys don't have to deal with that. But it was really irritating for me. This is the closest I came to losing the body, was this area. And at least it was on a pretty well-defined area, this staircase. Right now I'm just moving it to the bottom of the staircase so that whenever we do move on, I don't have to drag it down there too. I know I've mentioned a couple of times this playthrough, Ayame's campaign in Fatal Shadows had that one mission which got really annoying. I imagine with save states that mission would not bother me at all. I know Mission 8 in Stealth Assassins used to annoy the hell out of me. It still can be annoying now. Some of the enemies are really difficult. Those dudes with the sais that seem to block everything. Those guys are really annoying. Plus all the pitfalls. There was Ayame's Mission 3, not counting the training mission in Tenchu 2, and the Graveyard and Wrath of Heaven, the 2 missions you go through in there, with Rikimaru and Ayame. I don't know if you go through there as Tenchu. You might. I'm not sure. And at least that level had cool atmosphere. The only issue I had with that graveyard area was the swords that you carried that would drain your health. At least as Ayame, you didn't have to equip them except when you were going to kill something. As Rikimaru, you were carrying it the whole time, and you had to face off against some enemies. For reasons, I guess. Add to those missions that mission in Rikimaru's campaign of this game where you cannot kill anybody. And one other mission in this game that I'm forgetting right now. And that would pretty much be my list for worst Tenchu missions. It was kind of funny going through this LP. I noticed one of Rikimaru's missions, you had to kill everybody and you were on a timer. I didn't notice that while I was doing commentary for that video. At this point, I had figured out that you can use the L1 button to adjust the camera, but like I said, he will drop the body sometimes. So this is what we have to deal with. I actually found the right place to go at one point, and the camera bugged out like crazy when I was just trying to adjust it. Thanks to save states, again, y'all won't have to deal with that. You will still have to deal with a bad camera angle, though. So I can't actually see the door that we're going through, so I end up hitting the wall here. I do not care for this mission at all. Huzzah! Another mission down. And another Grandmaster ranking. I don't think they ever explain what happens with Goda. They might, since I haven't read the dialogue, I don't know. If anybody's actually reading the dialogue in this campaign and wants to clue me in on the story, I would be grateful. But I would only ask that of somebody who's going to read it anyways. I would never ask that of anybody who's not going to read the story. When we get to Rin's campaign, which will be video 13, I will be reading the dialogue for that one. And I hope I'm not coming across as irritable. I feel like I might be, If I am, that's because I'm doing this commentary for a second time, and I was actually happy with my commentary originally. But my headset died, so I had to pull out another one. It's really sad too, because my voice sounds a lot better on that one than on any other headset I've ever used. It's the same model, different headset, but the same model as I had from about late 2014 through very early 2017. If you listen to my God of War videos, my voice sounds beautiful! I tells you, beautiful! And then I went through a bunch of shitty headsets. It does look like he's having fun while stealth killing people. So I hope I'm not sounding irritable, but if I am, that's why. I think there's a mod or some option to where you can play as Tetsumaru, but I'm not sure. It seems like Tetsumaru would have the same playstyle as Onikage. I am glad that we don't have another campaign to play through. I did have my fun with this game, but 40 missions is too much. Something I was talking about originally when I was doing commentary for this video. I know I've touched on this before. Tenchu seems to be stuck. I'm going to say in the past, but that's not exactly how I want to say that. I'm just not sure how best to word it. What I mean by that is, they seem to think that Onikage needs to be in just about every Tenchu game. And after Tenchu 2, they seem to think that Tetsumaru needs to be in just about every one. Onikage should have been only in the first game, and Tetsumaru should have only been in Tenchu 2. And they should be advancing with each game, coming up with new villains, not regurgitating the same old ones that you've already killed. That is one thing I don't like about the series. There's a set of mission tips to each mission. This one of the things that it says is to watch out for Rikimaru. I don't know if you get spotted by him, if it's an instant mission fail. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with that because I never get spotted by him. I'm going to assume it's all skill on my part. That's what we're going with. You'll see him here coming up. There he is. It's weird because I see him walking around. I feel like I should be playing as him. I didn't like that in Fatal Shadows when we were playing as Rin and had to fight Ayame. I don't like going up against hero characters. I know as Teshu in Wrath of Heaven, you fight Rikimaru, but there's not really a set story in that game. So I don't mind too much. Plus, I never played his campaign anyways. I know you have to fight with Jill in Resident Evil 5, but she's so different in that game compared to the Jill that I like that it's not a big deal. Plus, you're not trying to kill her. I don't mind beating up on Tetsumaru in Tenchu 2 because, for me, he's not a hero character. I guess you would say he's a villain, but I wouldn't call him straight up evil. I wouldn't call him complicated either. I would prefer playing as him over Onikage. Onikage is straight up evil. I saw a comment on the video saying that Onikage was a complicated character. He's not. At least not in any of the games that I've seen. There is another game on the PSP, Shadow Assassins, which plays completely different from any other Tenchu game. The sword fights are a weird mini game, and there's no grappling hook. So that'll be strange when we get to that game. Which will probably be next year sometime. I actually have a list of games for this year, so that whenever I'm stuck trying to figure out what game I want to play, I've narrowed down my backlog to about 12 games. That'll make things easier on me when I'm trying to figure out what game to do next. I already have about 3 or 4 games off that list that I'm thinking of doing next. One I really want to do and have started, but it's a really long game and I've just not committed to it. But I'll figure that out whenever this LP is done. That's pretty much it for this mission. All we have to do is walk through a couple corridors. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Another Grandmaster ranking, and I will see y'all next time when we conclude Onikage's campaign.